Hey guys, good morning, everybody. Today is Wednesday, September 28th. It is 6:22 right now. Market's going to open in about 8 minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and set up this room real quick, and then we can get started shortly. So just give me a few moments to finish setting everything up, and then we should be good to go. All right, that's good. That's good. That's good. One more thing here to update. And we should be good to go. All right, solid. Let me get this link sent out to you guys here in the premium. Silver. All right, looks good. So I'll give it a few moments for people to make their way in. And as people join, I will get started with marking up the zones over here. A couple right here. Here, over here, and down below here. All right, so that was easy. I'm gonna make some adjustments here. Drag this up a little bit, cover that one. And same with this one over here. Drag it up a little bit. And I think we're good. So we got those marked up right there. Let's see who's in the room so far. Morning, Kenny. Morning, Funme. Morning, Peter. Morning, everybody. So I'll get a few more minutes for people to make their way in. I'm gonna go and see the news for this morning. See if there's anything that I need to mark up here. So today's Wednesday, September 28th. We had news this morning at 5:30. It was basically positive and negative. So news at 5:30, 7, 7:10, and 7:15, 7:30, 7 and 8. We got a lot of news coming up. We had one news event here at 5:30. So let me mark that up first. News over here. 5:30. It lines up with the zone over here. So this is 5:30 US news. Positive plus negative. We got news coming up over here. Let me check. We got a lot of news coming up. We got news at 7, 7:10, 7:15, 7:30, and 8. So 7, 7:15. 7:30 and 8, I believe. Okay. 7, 7:10, 7:15, 7:30, and 8. So we got a bunch of news coming up right there. Some of the news events aren't necessarily news events like from 7:10 and 7:15. It's just Fed member Bullard and Powell speaking. So yeah, it's going to be high impact, but it's not necessarily going to be something to mark up just then and there. We can see how price reacts to it. So we'll see how that goes. Let's see who else is here. Morning, Peter. Morning, Patricia. Morning, Maria. Morning, Sarah. Morning, everybody. So it looks like about half of you guys are in the room so far. So I'll get a few more minutes for people to make their way in. As people join in, let's take a look at the overall bias for today. Looking over here at retail sentiment. Retail sentiment is currently 68% long, indicating that 68% of retail traders are currently buying right now. So we want to do the opposite and sell with regard to retail sentiment. So long term, we're looking for sells here. Looking over here at the fundamentals, they're currently up 100 points, but they're not very strong. So we have a bearish to neutral long-term bias. These two here don't align. So with that said, that's perfectly fine. We can look for trades in both ways. Looking over here at the short-term bias is currently bullish. And the reason for that is because the trend meter down here is green. Price is above the pivots. The pivots are angling up and the green pivot is over the red pivot. So with that said, we have a long-term bearish bias, short-term bullish bias. So it's pretty neutral. And we can take trades in either direction as long as the requirements are met for the K2SR. Let me go over here real quick and mark up the high lows on the clean chart so we can identify market structure here. So we got a lot of liquidity sitting here on the bottom, right? So what do you think is going to happen during this session? Price is going to come down and knock all this liquidity out. So just keep that in mind. I'm expecting it to drop right back below at some point and pretty much wipe out all of this liquidity. One thing for us to look out for here as well is just look at market structure for how it's been moving. So I'll mark up London session. So pretty much London session right here up until New York open right here has been a bit choppy. It was choppy throughout here, pushed up, consolidated further, and pushed up again. And now it's back into some consolidation phase. So it's not very directional. I mean, it is going up, but it is basically shooting up and then going back into a heavy range, which it's currently in right now. So keep looking out for that here on the clean chart. But as of now, market is opening in about 20 seconds. So let's get started. Morning, David. Morning, Jamie. Morning, everybody. All right. So with the market open here, we'll start looking for entry. So as price pushes down, it's completely fine. Price can push up, price can push down. Either way, we'll look for trades in both directions. The trend meter is now blue. So in order for us to take sells, trend meter needs to turn red. In order for us to take buys, trend meter needs to turn green, right? So we don't have any bias right now with regard to short term. Everything's kind of just going sideways. It's currently blue right here. Price is cutting below the pivots. Looks like we might be shifting to a sell bias at some point here. So just a matter of time. See if this market here fresh is currently up 80 points. It's not over 100 points yet. All right. So price is dropping back down below. Perfectly fine here. Not really a big deal for us since we are looking for direction here. All right, so the trend meter here has turned red. That's perfect. Now, all we're looking for is we do have a wick rejection right here. We just need a moderate red candle. If we get a moderate red candle off this right here, then we can take this for a sell. If price comes up and touches the sessions, though, there's no longer going to be an opportunity for entry. So we need a moderate red candle here. If we can get that, then we can take this for an entry here. Unfortunately, the candle is just too big now at this point. So we can't take the entry. Yeah, this candle is way too big. And it's getting close to the news candle right here. So unfortunately, no entry here. This would have been a solid entry if it didn't close so big. But due to the size of it, we're going to have to wait for it to provide another opportunity. So no entry here. Also, the candle here is not moderate either. So it's not a moderate candle. If this was an entry, it would have been a full TP, it looks like. Yeah, it's all good. Waiting for the next one here. So another wick rejection possibly coming right here. If this pushes up, rejects off the structure and comes back down further, this could be the wick rejection we're looking for. And then we just need to look for another moderate red candle. If you guys look down at the pivots, or I mean, not the pivots, yeah. So, well, pivots are angling down now, and the trend meter is now red. So this could fit the criteria as long as it pushes up a little higher to touch the zone up there and provide the wick rejection that we need for this type of entry. So we got about 10 seconds left. No entry off that. Let's see. Eunice said he does not have a zone drawn up where you drew it. So which zone are you talking about? Eunice, are you talking about this one right here? If you turn on the zones, it's like right there. So I just outlined over it. Yeah, you should have it there. The only time you wouldn't have it is if you're on a different data. Sorry, are you in a different US30 data? I'm currently on currency.com. If you type in US30, it'll say currency.com right here. You might be on Black Bull, capital.com, Pepperstone. You might be on one of these here. It's weird. It isn't showing on you guys. That's weird. Here, let me just refresh it. Because typically the only reason for that to happen is if you're on a different data feed. Let me turn it on. Okay, so I see, yeah. So it looks like it's disappearing. So this zone over here, you know, sometimes it'll come up and disappear. Now that I've updated the chart, it's not there anymore. So it was there previously. It's no longer there anymore. So it wouldn't really matter because we're not using it anymore. But yeah, at the time, I guess it was disappearing and then it came back up right here. So just refreshed it. So you guys are right. There's no zone there. Let's move down to the next area down here. So this right here would technically be, or this entry here would technically be the breakout. I don't know if you guys identified that. I'm still not looking for the breakout, but marking it up right here, it looks like it came right to full TP and then it shot right back up. There goes that zone again. It came right back up right there. So as you guys can see, it's coming up and it's erasing, but it's been there for a while. And there again, it's disappeared. The problem with the zone here is that it's been here for so long. You can see it's the oldest zone. It's been here since 340. So it was produced on 340. And as price moves along and it creates new zones, it's going to disappear and new zones will be created. So yeah, the breakout right here came up at 633. If you guys took it, obviously I'm not taking the breakout yet until we have, you know, clear direction in the market. But yeah, this would be the breakout right here that just passed. So if you guys took it, great. If not, it's okay. We'll be looking for following entries here. All right, so here we go as price starts to bounce back and forth again. So here we are as price is back into the range. You can see right here, price came down, pretty much knocked out liquidity. And then it pulled right back into the range here. So if you guys are wondering what range I'm talking about, it's the same range right here before open. So price has pretty much been ranging around this area for, let's see, about 50 minutes now. Basically faked out below, price broke below, faked out right here, and pulled right back into the range. Here you go, as price breaks below again. All right, let's see where this goes. This is fine. I actually wanted to close below the structure here so that I can come back up, retest the structure, and come back lower. So we're still looking for K2 SR rejection entries here. All right, so this one's kind of iffy. Can't really tell if it's touching the news price or not. It's really close to it. But if this does close as a moderate red candle, this is technically, never mind. So it for sure touched it now. So unfortunately, this here is rejecting off the structure. If it was a moderate red candle, this could possibly be an entry. However, the red flag here is that it's touching the news price. So we can't take this trade here because it triggers an automatic red flag. I'll follow it to see where it goes, but unfortunately, we can't take this trade here even if it closes proper. We got about 15 seconds left on it. The volatility is really high in the market now. So you can see right here that even if this was to be a proper candle, the candle is just too big. So you wouldn't be able to take this entry here either way. Let me go over here and update the zone right here. So volatility is a lot higher today. It's just still really choppy. Let's see. So market open right here. Let's see how far prices moved since market open. It's moved about 1,400 pips. So that's a pretty big move compared to what we've been seeing for the past couple of months, right? Past couple of months been moving like barely 500 pips, if not less. I'm gonna go and mark up opening price right here. And the reason why I'm expecting a lot of this high volatility, which we already talked about yesterday, is because Powell's speaking today. Powell's speaking over here at, I think, 6:15. So he's causing a lot of this pre-market volatility. People are basically betting on what Powell is going to speak about today. We already know our long-term bias is bearish. Obviously, you can see here it's currently 69% long. So with that said, we're definitely looking for sells. Looking over here at the fundamentals, they're currently down now. So we do have a strong, well, not a strong, we have a bearish bias. So we have a moderately bearish bias. Once this goes below 100 points, then we'll have a strong bearish bias because everything is pointing towards a sell. This is pointing towards a sell. Retail sentiment's pointing towards a sell. Short-term sentiment here is, or short-term bias is pointing towards a sell. Everything's pointing towards a sell. So with that said, we are just going to be patient and wait for these sell entries to come. With the higher volatility, though, it's gonna be a little risky. We might have to adjust our TP stop loss due to the volatility in the market. So we'll see. But we're still looking for entries here. So we need this to push up a bit, retest the structure, and then come down further. Let's see. Okay, so price is pushing up right here. It is testing the structure right there. It didn't really cut into it, so it cut into it, but then it hit the news price. So again, right here, another red flag. Right there. Let's go to the clean chart real quick, see if there's any updates here. So you guys can see here that it faked out and pulled back right into the zone, right? So it did the same thing it did earlier. It pulled down right here, pulled back into the zone. Again, right here, price dropped a little bit, faked out, and pulled right back into the range. So this is the range right here. And typically, so when price breaks out of the range, this is what you see. This is like how it's supposed to play out. Price looks like it'll typically break out, come back for the retest, but not actually close inside, reject off the zone, and then come back down lower, right? That's a break and retest pattern. So typically when price is moving directional, this is what you'll see. You don't see it break back into it like it's doing right here. This would be considered a fake out because this is typically what people are looking for, but it's not happening, right? So still no directional market today. Still playing around with people, getting caught up in here. It looks like it's luring in more buyers because the sentiment here just increased. It was 68% pre-market. Now it's 69. It's probably gonna go up to 70 as people get lured further and further into this position here. Yeah, Maddie mentioned that it might shoot up, hit the liquidity up here, and then come back down. It looks like it's coming back down now. So here we are as price drops back lower. I wouldn't consider this a break and retest because price actually broke into this area. So what I'm looking for is another retest up here and a wick rejection off the structure, not necessarily breaking into it, but wick rejection into the structure and bouncing off. So that's kind of what I'm looking for here to confirm the break and retest. At the moment, price is just ranging right now. It's not really doing too much. It's just going back and forth. The iffy part about this here is that news price is right there. You guys can see where price is being manipulated, right? It's being manipulated right at news price. So this is basically the center for it. Price will come down, come back up, fake out, come back down, fake out, come back up, fake out, come back down, etc. It just keeps doing the same thing over and over again. But you guys can see the area where this is happening, right? This is pink line. So this is why you don't want to trade where news price is, because you can see where price keeps getting manipulated, right? Same with this right here. Price came down, faked out right here. Then it came back up. Again, this area right here, you can see how price tries to break above it, fakes out, comes back below here for retest, comes back below. So you generally just don't want to trade around where these horizontal lines are. The lines that are going across the screen, this is typically going to be news price, open price, sessions. But in better words, it's going to be red flags. So just consider them red flags. Doesn't matter if they're news price, opening price, or sessions. Either way, they're going to be considered red flags. My sessions weren't even on here either. All right. So now that price is up here, the next target price point will be back down here at the news price again. So here goes, price pushes up. Another area of manipulation here. We might get a rejection and push back down. Going back to the clean chart over here, you guys can see how it did a double fake out, or like a triple fake out actually, right? Price came down right here, it faked out on this big wick, shot back up, came back down right here for another fake out, came back up, came back down here for this fake out right here. So basically 3 back-to-back fake outs, and it pulled right back into the range. Opening price is right here, so it pretty much just went back to where it was earlier. And again, right here is another example of a ranging consolidating market. We have a double body rejection right here. This would technically be a V1, but the candle here is just way too big. And it's right at the sessions. So we have a V1 here, but it's literally at the sessions, which is one of the main red flags. There goes, a V1 plays out. So whenever you take a trade like this, which is at a red flag, it could be 50-50. Odds are it'll probably hit, which it did right there. You can see it hit perfectly, double body right there. So if you guys are not familiar with the variation strategy, we had a high here, double body, pending sell signal, straight to full TP. But unfortunately, we can't take it because it's right at the red flag. This could really, it could have gone either way. It could have hit your TP or it could have went straight to your stop loss. See, Kenny sent me a video over here real quick. Let's see, what's this video of Kenny? Kenny said Treasury Secretary Yellen made it part after 2022 midterms. Yeah, it looks like Yellen is leaving. Yeah, because Biden just basically destroyed our economy. So it says President Biden's handling of our economy, 57% disapprove. And the thing with Yellen is that she enforces a lot of regulation in the market, right? So with all that regulation, it has been beneficial to us. So looks like she's going to be leaving at the end of this this midterm. Yeah, we'll see. I keep forgetting how long is Biden still in house? So let's see. 2024. So we still got to do with Biden for like another 2 years, unfortunately. But yeah, I don't expect Biden to get reelected. It's been a weird couple of years with Biden in the house. Like, as much as I hate to say it, we need to get Trump back in the house, right? As much as I don't like Trump, his effect on the market is just crazy. He causes the markets to like literally move, or someone to cause the market to move. Like, me, someone that's just gonna make stuff happen. You know, Biden's been president for like 2 years, and you guys can see what happens to the market. It's been super rangy for like the past 2 years. It's not even moving how it normally does. You know, given that we are going through a recession, also we had COVID, but I mean, still, the market hasn't been the same as it was prior. It's just been a lot. It's been a longer. It feels like a longer summer season for the market. Like, summer came a little earlier, and then and now it's ending a little later. Because typically around this time, September 28th, market starts to move a bit more directional. You can even go back and watch the previous live sessions from last year and the year before that. But we'll see. We'll just have to roll with it. Anyways, the trend meter down here is now turned green, guys. I'm still not looking for any buys here. I mean, it wouldn't matter because there's so many red flags here. So if we do get a wick rejection off structure right there, we wouldn't be able to take any buys. Hey, Casey, morning. All right, let's take a look at everything else over here. Retail sentiment is still at 69% long. Still looking for sell. So I think price is going to come down eventually. It's just going to be a matter of time. Looking over here at the fundamentals are currently, they're back up. They're up 98 points. So it's pretty much a mixed bag right now. Again, right here, this is a wick rejection off the structure, but we wouldn't be able to take any trades. It's right at the sessions right here. We have a pending momentum pivot scalp, or not anymore, disappeared. Price is just in the range, same range that I drew earlier this morning. It's been in this range for about well over an hour now, an hour, 3 minutes. So price is pretty much ranging within this area. It faked out a little bit down here about 3 times, pulled down, pushed up, pulled down, pushed up, pulled down, and then shot right back up. The main setup that I'm looking for here, guys, is I'm looking for price to break below, retest, and confirm. If we get this right here, so if price breaks below here and closes like it did right here, it comes back for the retest and continues dropping, then I could expect price to come and knock out this liquidity down here and this liquidity down here. What it seems like is happening is price is getting propped up right now until Powell speaks. So the thing that you want to keep in mind is that Powell is still speaking today. He's speaking today at 7:15, I believe, right? Yeah, so you can see right here, Fed Chair Powell is speaking at 7:15. So it's about 7 o'clock right now. What I see happening is price just keeps getting propped up. And then when Powell speaks, he's going to be talking about inflation, the recession, and the economy changes for this month and then for the following month, what they're projecting. And it's not going to be good, right? None of the information is going to be good. So when he starts speaking at 7:15, price will just dump right back down. So it's basically just charging up for this big drop that's going to happen later. What they're doing is you're luring in more buyers right here. As you guys can see, it's currently at 68%. Just watch this number. If this number increases, that's because more people are buying, right? They're trying to buy. Or if you see number decrease right here, people are pulling out because they're getting worried about what Powell and what Powell and Bullard is going to speak about. The Fed's going to start speaking at 7:10. Fed member Bullard's going to start speaking, and then Powell at 7:15. So yeah, we'll see. B said gold is mooning. It's probably the same situation. So gold is basically mooning because it's preparing for Biden to speak at 7:15. I mean, not Biden, Powell. All right, so again, right here, we have the wick rejection. It was a moderate green candle. This would have been a nice buy again. Unfortunately, it's right at the sessions. So we couldn't take that trade there. But if you were to take a trade here, it would have been a full TP for this following candle right next to it. It was green down here, wick rejection off structure, moderate green candle, full TP right there. We can't take anything because it's right at opening price right here. So if you guys are not familiar with the red flags, I'll just put them up right here. But to put simply, it's just basically any of these horizontal lines. Any lines going left to right, those are going to be considered red flags. So prices near sessions, sessions is right here and right here. Prices near opening price, it's going to be this blue line. Prices near newest price, this pink line right here. Candles too big, prices ranging, etc. Yeah, nothing for us right now. All right. So let's see what we got over here. Not much going on. Price is just bouncing between the two sessions over here, or sessions and opening price. Looks like price is attempting to make its way back down. So again, right here, there's a moderate red candle with a sell signal with rejection off structure. Unfortunately, we cannot take this trade again. Candle's too big, too many red flags. For one, prices near sessions, prices near opening price, and the candle's too big. And price is ranging. All right, so let me clean this up a little bit. We have new high lows right here. Basically, what we have producing right now, or what we currently have, is a zone within a zone. So we have this zone right here within this zone right here. So you've got these two zones, basically a zone within a zone. And this is a good thing because as you guys can see, price is starting to squeeze, right? So price is getting tighter. And this can only mean one thing. It's preparing for a breakout. So it's going to have to break out at some point. But we do have a zone within a zone right here. Lots of liquidity on both sides. We have liquidity sitting up here. We have liquidity sitting down here. So the breakout will probably continue a little bit further once it does actually break out from there. But yeah, there's nothing really going on. You can see where price just stays between opening price and the sessions right here. Huge areas of manipulation. Tons of opportunity for fake outs, which is basically what's happening here. Let's see. All right, so I mean, the zone right here in the middle is pretty irrelevant. We're not going to be able to use it for any of our entries. There was another V1 right here. You see this, Maddie? There's a V1 right there. So double body rejection, pending momentum and it came down pretty nice, but it was right at the session. So unfortunately, candles was actually not that bad. Candle was okay. Would have been a full TP, but it was right at the sessions and opening price. But you guys can see the V1 too. There's two V1s that came up so far during this live session. One right there, a ton of red flags, and then again right here. Both of them would have hit full TP. Yeah, MJ said he was eyeing that one, but the red flags. There's too many red flags here. There's no clear direction. You can see how price is just going back and forth. It's trying to break above it, then it fails, comes back right below. Not a good area to trade. Here's the clean chart. I mean, it's not necessarily that clean because there's so much stuff on the chart, but it is cleaner than the other one with all the tools on there. But you guys can see it a lot better here, right? So if I just zoom out from here, you guys can see all of the liquidity that's sitting above and now sitting below here as well. Liquidity down there, down here, all the way down here. All right. See if there's anything else over here. I mean, nothing's really been going on. If you guys look here, it's been going back and forth for the past 10, 20 minutes now. Just between these two areas, the opening price is blue line and the sessions right here, it just bounces back and forth. There is a continuation right here, Maddie, but it's right at the opening price, which also would have been a full TP right there. So we're having a lot of these smaller entries that are coming within the range right here. Variations, Maddie's continuations, and they're all kind of just getting caught up for the most part. We got news coming up in about 30 seconds. Thanks, Maddie. 7 o'clock over here. I'm hoping that these news events will push price so far away from this area so that we can start looking for trades. I don't mind trading when the Fed's speaking, but it needs to push far enough so that we're not stuck within this area. So I need price to really push up. If it's fine, if it pushes up, I'll look for buys up here. If it pushes to this area, if price pushes down, that's fine too. I'll look for sells down here, right? We just need price to get out of this area right here. This is not a good area to trade. A lot of fake outs, a lot of opportunities to get manipulated. It's just not a good area to be trading. So let me go over here and mark up news price. I'll go and check the news real quick, see what it was. Price is pushing up over here, so I'm assuming it was negative, right? It's a pretty simple guess. Typically price does the opposite of news. So pending home sales over here, I'm assuming that to be negative. And it was negative, just as we thought. It's down 2%. So this is kind of weird, right? The weird thing is that pending home sales were negative last month and they're negative this month. But if you guys remember the news, the news from yesterday, new home sales, it was up. It just doesn't make sense, right? It literally doesn't make sense. If you look at pending home sales from the previous month, it was also negative. You can see here, like it says previous month, it was negative 1%. I don't understand how it goes from negative 1% pending home sales, but in actuality, they sell more homes, right? It doesn't make sense. This is why I thought this news here was manipulated yesterday. I forgot who mentioned that with me, but someone else was like, yeah, I think that's manipulated. Yeah, Peter said that too. It just doesn't make sense because how could they have less pending home sales, but they sell more homes? It doesn't add up. So just be careful with this news. Whenever you see positive news like this, I don't really believe it because we've been following the news pretty much every month and it just doesn't make sense. But yeah, Peter, spot on. Same with the pending home sales over here. So anyways, wow, look at this manipulation right here. News was negative 2%. So the pending home sale percentage just keeps going lower and lower, but price over here just shot up 1,000 pips. Literally no sense. There's another V1 right here. I mean, I guess we could have taken this one, but the count was too big. But there we go. As price corrects right back down. It's just straight manipulation, guys. This is why we always avoid news price. or whenever, price is moving around news. Price pushed up, double body right there for a V1. If you guys remembered, I mentioned the V1 is a reversal pattern, right? So price came up here, provided a V1, reverse straight down. That might be something that you guys can use. If you guys trade news and it's going the opposite way, look for that V1 right there, right? If you can find a V1, odds are it's going to come down pretty heavy like it did right here. So if you guys want to experiment with the strategies and play around with it however you guys see fit, I mean, you guys are more than welcome. You guys can play around with it. I can give you guys little ideas here. I just don't like giving you guys these ideas or telling you guys when to take trades during the live, because I don't want people to trade that way, right? It's not a safe way to trade, obviously. A lot of risk comes with taking speculative moves like that. But if you guys understand how it works, then you're more than welcome to try them out. Yeah, Maddie said might go up and touch the last level of liquidity before it shoots all the way down. Yeah, no, I can see that too, Maddie. So unfortunately, the zones down here they're no longer there anymore. You guys can see from the trend meter down here how much of a mess is going on in the market. So there's no clear direction at all. Look at how much it's changing down here. It went from red to blue to red to green to red to green to blue to red to green to blue, and now back to green. So if you just look down at the trend meter right here, there's just like no clear direction at all. Even though we're looking for a sell long term, you guys can see this thing is not consistent at all. Typically over here, price is bullish, great. Price is bearish, great. Price is neutral, great. Right here, price isn't even neutral. It's just going back and forth. So you want to be very careful about taking entries at this point. Let me go over here to the clean chart as well. Clean chart prices, I mean, it pretty much just faked out above. So let me just take that zone out right there. Pretty much hit liquidity right here. But here's the key thing. Liquidity is not really the big deal here. The big deal are the fake outs outside of the zone. So you can see over here that price was going sideways. It faked out right here, and it's back in the middle. It's exactly where it was before the news happened. News happened right here, spiked it up. Price is right back to where it was. It was like that move never really happened. It was just manipulation. So I'm going to mark up these high lows again right here. We have one more right there and one more down here. Trend meter is back to blue. See as it comes down lower. See some profits here posted by Patricia. Nice for Patricia. So Patricia is currently up 3,845 for the day. She said probably done for the day. The NAS breakout has been very smooth lately. Nice. So solid work right there, Patricia. Some more profits over here from Dell. Dell's currently at 933 off this account. All wins. He took all these sells here as he rode that wave down. Took a couple more profits, locking a total profit of 1,329. Nice work, Dell. Kenny over here as well, currently up 301 for the day. Nice work, Kenny. Maria over here currently up 262. So nice work, guys. It looks like a lot of you guys are taking trades off the analysis this morning, which is solid. I mean, if you guys know what you're doing and you guys are able to follow, our bias is for a sell today still. So I can see that Dell over here definitely traded in the direction of bias. He has like about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 sells here, or more actually, maybe 13 sells, and they're all wins. Same with Kenny, took sells there as well. Nice wins. Maria here as well, took sells, straight wins. Kenny again right here, 301 for the day. Nice work, Kenny. Casey over here went both ways, not bad. He took the whipsaws in both directions, locked in a total profit of 3,767. He said pre-market profits and managed to catch the opening breakout to the downside. Going to monitor how it goes, but more likely done for the day. Good all day blue. Yeah, no, definitely, Casey. Definitely. The breakout's been pretty solid lately. They've been pushing at least 100 pips. So what I might do, as I did in the past, is I might just take him for a partial move. That's only if the market continues to move smoothly, right? So if you guys remember before, the market was kind of choppy like this, I wasn't taking the breakouts fully, but I was either taking them for 100 pips or I would take them for with the trailing stop. So possibly, but we'll see. Casey over here as well. So the other Casey, 3 wins back to back. He said 3 trades for 2K. I'll take that for the day. So we locked in a total profit of 1,916. Nice work, Casey. Nice. Yeah, Dell said I'm using magic keys, taking partials. That's why it looks like so many positions. Oh gosh, Dell. So Dell, are you taking like one position and then just pulling out partials along the way? I'm assuming that's what you're doing. Okay, gosh, yeah, no, smart move there, Dell. Valentine over here as well, currently up 1,446. Nice work, Valentine. Man, too many profits. Telegram just froze up on me. All right, so going up real quick. Okay, so Kevin over here. Kevin's currently up 16,250. Nice work, Kevin. He's actually going the other way for a buy. So a lot of these were taken as price swung right back up on the news. So great work right there, Kevin. Valentine again right here, currently up 1,446. Kevin again right here, now up 24,280. Solid. Another account right here, or some more profits actually. So basically, Kevin wrote it up and then he wrote it back down. Currently up 26,550. Sorry. Let me scroll up. 24,280. And then the second one over here, 26,560. And then Jamie over here currently up 548. Nice work, Jamie. And all in the same account right here. Kevin is now up 29,030 for the day. Solid work. So Kevin's bias here shifted from buy to sell. Obviously, you guys can see prices starting to come down from this point. So I can kind of see where Kevin's looking at these entries. He's looking for these wick rejections. So you can see right here, like, I know they're kind of risky because they're rejecting off like sessions and stuff, but I can see where he's taking these entries from. It's basically the candle, the reversal right here as price came down and then a continuation down. There's a continuation entry here that Maddie would have taken if it came out solidly. Another one right there. There's actually a lot of continuation entries right here that kept coming up. So Bullard is now speaking, guys. You just want to be careful with these entries here. I mean, it's fine to look for entries here, but make sure that you're looking and only taking entries if they fit your criteria for whatever strategy you're applying, whether you're applying one of the K2 strategies or if you're applying your own. Just make sure that you are following your criteria. Stanley Druckenmiller sees hard landing in 2023, possible deeper recession, and many expect. So thanks for this news update right here, Peter. Yeah, I'm not surprised about that. Definitely expect that to happen. Okay, if this closes as a moderate red candle, this can be a possible entry. Unfortunately, it pushed up and it touched our red flag again. And these red flags are annoying. They're always in the way. Or they've been in the way lately. So unfortunately, no entry there, but I was waiting for it. So let's see. Dijon said he took the 708 candle. Gotcha. Yeah. So Dijon actually took this right here. It was continuation down lower. Took that for a sell. And wrote it down a bit. All right, so here's the thing where you want to be a bit careful, right? It's another fake out. So here's the same range that we drew earlier. It's the same fake out that played out earlier over here. So we had about 3 fake outs right here, pulled back up, another fake out right here, pulled right back up. So we got fake outs right here, fake out up here, fake out down here, and then it pulls right back into the zone that we've had since pre-market. The pattern that we're looking for here is we're looking for price to break below. We test without having to go back into the zone and then continue down. This has already broken the pattern here. It's already broken inside and closed. So it's going to have to reset. Now that price is dropping back below, you want to look for it to actually didn't drop down below. It has to break and close below and then test the structure here, not actually close inside and then come back below. If we can get that, then that'll be a sign of a continuation. But until we get that, obviously no confirmation of direction yet. Yeah, Marco said 5:30 news price right here within the zone it's touching now. Yeah, it's like right there in the middle. So unfortunately, we can't take these trades here because, as you guys can see, this is where the manipulation starts. So just see as price bounces around here. We got Powell speaking in about 15 minutes. So let me check YouTube real quick, see if we have Bullard. All right, so Bullard is not being live streamed right now. You see Powell is going to be live streamed. No, Powell is not being live streamed either, surprisingly. So neither of the Fed speeches are being televised today, which is kind of weird. I would expect Powell's to be televised, but I guess not. News right here at 7:30. Yeah, so Powell's speaking in about 5 seconds. We got Bowman speaking at 8. We got a lot of news today. We got Powell speaking right now, Bullard speaking. We have gasoline stock exchange, gasoline stocks change, basically gas news in 14 minutes. And then at 8 o'clock, we have Fed member Bowman speaking. So Powell's supposed to start speaking right now. We're not really going to mark up news price around these areas because we don't have an actual news event that's causing price to move. He'll basically just cause a lot of volatility in the market, and that's why price is starting to move a bit heavier now. So you just want to be a bit careful. All right, so he's speaking now. Price is coming down. This is a possible V3 entry, but not one we could take, obviously. It's right at the red flag hand down below there. All right, so it looks like people are selling off as Powell begins to speak. All right, so you guys can see the crazy volatility right now. So price starts to spike around. Let me check the zones, make sure all the zones are cool. So this one's actually gone. This one's gone. All right, so price is now just bouncing around news price. Yeah, Maddie said faked out of the range, then right back in. Yeah, so this is why it's important to have this left up right here, because you can see how it just keeps faking out, right? This aligns with the news price. So you can see how price keeps getting manipulated at the low of its range. That's exactly where the news price is sitting. So just be careful if you guys are looking for trades around these areas, because they're not good areas to be trading in. Got a possible V1 that could be coming up here, it looks like. But again, it's back into the range. See, can you just send me a link? So let's see, Biden is also speaking right now. So it says live, President Biden delivers remarks on hunger. So I don't think this is going to affect it too much, but thanks, Kenny, for the link there. So we got a lot of stuff going on. We have this Fed speaking, we have Powell speaking, we have Biden speaking, we have news coming up. Today's just a super heavy news day. Price still hasn't broken away from the news price right here. Just gotta see where it goes as it continues to move along. John said, waiting for the day the link is a rickroll. Exactly right. All right, it's not necessarily the best area to be trading at all. Let's see. Oh, this is what Eunice was showing me earlier. Okay. All right, so not really much going on here. Price is just ranging. I mean, it's now a range within the range, so there's still that higher range right there, but price is just going sideways right here. I'm gonna clean this up again. Just being super repetitive now. Let's see, Maddie said if you look at the 5-minute charts, it's in the same range as yesterday. Let me check. Yeah, no, it looks like it. Yeah, so here's the 5-minute chart. I mean, it's been the same. Yes, it's exactly where it was, Maddie, right here. So I just drew the range right here from yesterday. Price just keeps pulling back into the same range. So like price pulls in right here, it goes sideways, pulls below, fakes out, comes back into it, fakes out, pulls back into it. And it just keeps going right back into the same area. So yeah, not really much here to look at, unfortunately. Let's see. So there's actually a daily here that's running, Maddie. I don't know if you saw it. There's a daily running over here for the counter trend trade. I actually already hit TP. Because the trend here is bullish. We had a sell signal right here, and it would have been a buy. So it swung right back up, hit full TP. Let's see what the 3-minute over here. Same with this right here. This right here would have been the daily. It looks like it would have hit stop loss though. Yeah, this one would have hit stop loss because of the crazy movement right here on open. Daily came up right on the opening candle. All right, so now price is just, it's doing the same thing, but at a higher area of manipulation. So price was down here at this news price. Now it's up here at this news price. news price, opening price, and sessions. Maddie said price target if it breaks open, London low. Yeah, exactly. I can see that too. Just to knock out the rest of the liquidity right there. Because you can see how liquidity got built up right here. Like Maddie said, the target price point, if price does break and close above opening price right here, is going to be London open. Yeah, Maddie said it's not ready to drop. Looks like it's going to mess around until it hits liquidity on top, then probably drop after 8. Yeah, no, I can see that too, Maddie. So this is fine. If price pushes up here, that's okay, because if it does push up here, we can get a possible SR rejection in this zone right here. If we get that, we can ride it up at least a little bit to reach the zone up there, or the sessions. Yeah, Maddie said same setup all week. Yeah, it's pretty much the same thing that happened yesterday and the day before. If you guys remembered yesterday, we waited all session for price to drop, right? As soon as we got off the live, well, not as soon as we got off, but like 30 minutes after, you can see how price was kind of in this whole red flag area. And then as soon as it hit 8 o'clock, so 8 o'clock was right here, price started to tumble down. But then eventually, after we got off the live here on like 8:20, this is where price started to dump super heavily. So it's the same pattern pretty much every day that keeps getting played out. Price gets propped up, then it hits around 8 o'clock. Price comes right back down to where it's supposed to go. So here we are as price is above here. We'll look for a possible buy if we can get a wick rejection off the structure. Trend meter is currently green. Pivots are angling up now as it's trying to cross back over. Price is in the zone over here. Momentum is bullish. So if we get a buy or we already have buy signal. If we get a wick rejection off the structure up here, we can possibly write it up to the London high right there, or London low actually. Just got to make sure the candle is not too big, because it might be due for some retracement. So, all right, we have the wick rejection right here. We just need a moderate red candle. So in order for it to be moderate, we need the body to be bigger than the top wick. Top wick can't be too big. Bottom wick's fine. If price ends up swinging back up from here, that's perfectly fine too. All right, so this might be a V1 actually. Marco said, Yoshan, do you know what causes my trend meter to disappear randomly? One thing that you might be doing, Marco, is you might be double clicking the chart. If you double click on the chart, it makes it disappear. So you double click back on and it's back on. That's one of the things there. That could be the issue. So if this closes as a moderate red candle, possible entry for a K2 SR. Yeah, no problem, Marco. I have that issue all the time too. So I was kind of wondering. All right, there's a possible V1 here, but I'm not taking it. Probably should have taken it, but the candle's a little big. So this is a V1 right here, double body. I'll see if maybe I can make a late entry as it comes back down. See, is it too late? No, it's a little too late right there. I'm gonna watch it for a bit, see where it ends up, because if it comes back down further, I think this could be a solid V1. Just gonna watch where it's currently at. And if not, I'll just wait, because we are looking for price to come up, but this would be a V1 reversal pattern. It's a double body rejection. Looking at MT4, the candles look a little different on MT4 though. It doesn't look like a double body, but it looks solid on the on TradingView. Let's see where it's at. Yeah, Jesus also mentioned that the trend meter is green. So yeah, I'm not going to take it. I mean, it looked like it would have been a good one, but no. The short-term trend here is bullish. The long-term trend was still bearish, I think. So as you guys can see here, I'm starting to FOMO into I really want to enter a move, but I know it's not a good time to enter a trade. I just got to control myself. I just start to get impatient, just like you guys, for these entries here. Unfortunately, we can't even take a buy there. Let me see if we get it. So we don't have the wick rejection off this here. And what we do, but it's not going to be a moderate green candle. See if there's anything else over here. So looks like we do have the wick rejection now at this point. Just need a moderate red candle or moderate green candle, actually. Moderate green candle, but it looks like it might be too close to the sessions right there. Yeah, way too high. So as you guys can see, the market is moving kind of crazy. It's like Powell's speaking right now. Price getting propped up. We got news coming up here at 7:30. It's just not really a smooth market at all. If you look over here on the clean chart, you guys can see how the market's moving the entire day. Pretty much pushed up and hit the liquidity right here. This is exactly what Maddie was identifying. He was mentioning that price was going to come up, hit liquidity, probably test the London high here, before making its way back down. So let's see where it's at. Yeah, Peter said Powell's probably saying we're not in a recession yet, and don't worry. Yeah, that's exactly what he's saying. So we have price over here at the sessions. Let's see if price continues to push up higher or if it drops back below. I still think that long-term price is going to drop back below. What you have to look for is the reversal pattern. So I thought this here might have fit their criteria, but now that I'm really looking at it, it doesn't look like it even lined up. I mean, kind of looks like the red candle is a little lower though. It's a new zone right here. Go and adjust this. Slightly. All right. News was positive. Thanks, Peter, for that. Obviously, you can see price to the opposite. So news was positive right here. 7:30. I think natural gas storage news for US. Let's see. So price is still pushing up. This looks like if it does have a double body for the on the bottom side over here, this can be a possible continuation to the upside. It is at the session or news price though, so probably not a good entry to take. All right, let's see what happens here. And I'm so tempted to take these riskier trades because I'm speculating these directions, but we just don't have any actual entries to take. So like, for example, this one over here where Maddie was identifying price going up and touching the London high over here, or London low. I was waiting for that SR rejection, but we never got it. We had one right here actually, but I think the candle would have been too big. Actually, no, it would have fit criteria, but it was right at news. So there's just too many things going on. There's news coming up, or there was news coming up. There was a entry right there, but it's too close to news price. It's 7:33 right now. We have about 2 minutes till 7:35, which is going to be the cutoff ending for news price, or for the news candle. And then we can possibly look for another one here. Yeah, Maddie said it might be making its way down to hit all the liquidity. Yeah, I can see that too, Maddie. This could just be another fake out. So as you guys can see right here, it pretty much knocked out liquidity. You know, this looks exactly like how it did yesterday. Do you remember this, Maddie? So if you guys were on the live session yesterday, price went up, hit all liquidity on top. It faked out around this area, kind of went sideways for a bit. And then it literally went straight down, like super heavy. Yeah, it looks just like it. Well, we'll see. The catalyst for that entry, though, that we saw was a V1. So we saw a V1 from up here yesterday. It was a double body V1. And then from there, price just came tumbling down. Like it dropped like, I think like 3,000 pips or something like that. So maybe something to follow up on. We'll see. So I don't see the V1 yet. I mean, either or, there's no entry for us to take right now. There's no zones above, there's no zones. I mean, there's a zone below, but it hasn't touched it yet. But yeah, if this continues to range this way, so if this continues to go sideways, I'm expecting it to possibly make its tumble way back down. But we'll see. So this is currently the high right here. See it better here on the clean chart. Or even a tumble down to like the zone below here could make a pretty big difference. It's like a 2,000 pip drop if it pulls back into the zone over here and then corrects back down to like this area, because this would be the area of correction. Opening price is around this middle right here. But for price to correct down to where it's supposed to be, it's got to be down here. So from where price is currently at, that's about a 2,000 pip drop, which is exactly what happened the other day. It was like right here, price kind of propped up. And then it corrected right back down to where the range was. So this is the range from yesterday. You guys can see how price popped up, and then it came right back down to that area. It ended up coming down further down here. But I mean, who knows? We'll see. So price broke the high. Looks like it's not coming down yet. We also didn't have that V1 yet. So until we get that V1, you know, we don't have that reversal pattern until it'll come down, but eventually I think it will. So, all right, guys, if you guys have any questions, feel free to put your questions in the chat. I'm still looking for an entry here, but we don't have anything here. There's no variations. There's no SR rejections. There's really nothing right now. Price is just getting propped up higher and higher as we see it, and I just don't really see anything happening. Yeah, I just don't see anything happening over here, unfortunately. Let me check the news real quick. I don't think there's anything here really happening. I mean, there's see, so it says Dow raises 200 points. The stock market attempts to rebound from 2022 lows. Yeah, and I don't see anything. Possible V1 right here. Let's see. Yeah, the candle's too big, but this might be the reversal pattern right back down. And too close to a news price, just like Maddie said. Yeah, no, I agree. So let's see where it goes from here. I'm just looking, like, I'm not looking for actual entry. I'm looking for the swing back down. This looks like it's trying to tumble back down. It's got a long way to go too. So there's a double body rejection right there. Not that it's necessarily a V1, the candle's too big, just like Maddie said, but this is just a reversal pattern. So whenever you see a double body like this or a double wick, it typically is going to indicate reversal, right? So we're basically just looking to identify the top here, which this might be the top. So gotta see where it goes from here if it continues to drop lower. So let's see where it goes from here, but let me zoom out a little bit. Yeah, it's super overextended. So if you look over here and you just measure it from this point, price has pretty much gone up about like almost 3,000 pips without retracement. Like real retracement. That's one thing that you guys can do as well. I know a lot of people like to catch tops and bottoms. What you can do sometimes is look for an overextended market, because the thing with US30 is that when it's overextended, it has to drop down at least to some extent. So like, for example, right here, price was overextended from this point, right? From this this low, or actually we'll count it from this low up until this high. It's about 3,000 pips. If you zoom in a little closer, you'd kind of look for a reversal pattern. It didn't really come up here as clear as it would have as other ones, but you can kind of see that there is like a reversal. It looks like a double top here. It's not very clean though, but it looks like it could have been. It came back down. It didn't come back down fully, but it did come back down, quite a bit. See if there's anything else here. I'm just looking for an example for you guys to use. Like if you guys ever see an overextended market, I think people call these tweezers sometimes, or so sometimes there's like a V1 where it's really close, but it's not necessarily right next to each other, because sometimes there's going to be some slippage with like these candle data. Like for example, your price came down a little bit. It looks like a double body right here, but it's not necessarily exactly on it. But you can see this is where the bottom was established. So like price came down right here. It was basically a double bottom, but this one was a little lower. But then it ended up going back up from there. If you measure the distance from this point to here, about 2,000 pips. Let's see. Maddie said if we do get a reversal pattern, again, that looks decent up top, I'm going to take it with a trailing stop and let it run. Yeah, no, I think that'd be pretty solid. I mean, if you can take like a smaller lot size and just write it down, like the possibility of like catching a big move from there could be really likely. So right here, price still hasn't gone up to this high yet. But I mean, either way, there's nothing for us to take here. Even if we wanted a V1, the trend meter is still green. So we would need the overall bias to still be bearish for this V1 to be possible, which we don't have right now. Hey, Brock, how's it going? Looks like you just made it. Unfortunately, there's still no trades for us to take today. This looks like another repeat of last week. So if you guys remember last week, I forced a trade on Wednesday of last week. It wasn't even an actual trade. It looked like it was a SR rejection. So I took it, and unfortunately I ate a loss. Luckily on Friday, I had 3 back-to-back wins. So I basically just broke even for the week. But yeah, I mean, there's not really much right now. Price is still pushing up higher, which just doesn't make any sense. I mean, I can see the recovery happening from the drop yesterday or for the past couple of days, but not necessarily. I don't see it holding for very long. Let me go over here to the higher time frames real quick. So we drew this yesterday. So let me see here on the 1 hour. I mean, realistically, price has been dropping for a long time. So let's see if we could find one here. Price dropping from this point. On the 1 hour, it's like different though. All right, from this point right here. Down here, 7,000 pips. Looks like there's a bevel body right here. Pushed back up. We look at where price is currently at right now. So before price pushed up from here, it was pretty much dropping for a long time. It dropped from this area right here to down here, about 8,000 pips. Bevel body off this low. And correction back up about 5,000 pips. And it looks like price is still pushing. This is on the higher time frame, the 1 hour. I don't really trade on these higher time frames, but I'm just looking to try to get a better picture as to like where price is likely to come down from. So I do expect it to continue dropping. I see this as temporary. Looks like next area of rejection would be right there. So it looks like we might have a bit of a way to go. Maybe like 700 pips or so. And then maybe it'll come up here. And this would be 1, 2, 3, 4. Basically like a 5-time rejection off this point. Kenny said dumbass is speaking. Okay, yeah, so it looks like Biden is now speaking. All right, Biden, let's dump the market. So Biden is now speaking. He's not necessarily speaking directly on the economy, but he's talking about making his remarks on hunger. They call him Adolf Sniffler. And that's funny. If you guys ever watch like when Biden speaks and you look at the comments here, it's just it's funny. This guy said rent a crowd, fake audience. Lost almost 1K and you whispering here. And all right. So back to the charts, guys. Still nothing for us to take here, unfortunately. There are a couple continuation moves here that I can see. But it's like right at the it's right at the news price. So I'm just looking over here to see these continuations that Maddie typically looks at. I see one right there. Looks like that would have hit the full TP. Kind of pushing it with the size of the candle. So that one would have been good. Possibly another one right here. Not one that I'm taking, but I'm just following it. I can tell I'm starting to get some FOMO in the market, so I don't want to force anything. I'll follow the trade and see how it plays out, but I'm not going to take it because I know it's not a good trade. It's just one that I just really want to get into a trade, but I know it's not worth taking, or not worth taking the risk at least, because it is a bit overextended, and our long-term bias is still going to be bearish. So let's see this here. No, it's not even closing as a double body, so it doesn't fit the criteria. Let's see. Yeah, Brock said true. Should be dipping. Yeah, no, exactly. I'm expecting it to drop. It's just not there yet. And unfortunately, price got pushed up right here. I don't know if this is because Powell is speaking or because Biden started speaking, but price it just randomly shot up right here. Powell started speaking at 11:15 right here. So it might have been because Powell started, I don't know what he's saying because it's not being televised, but he started speaking right here at 6:15, right? Or 7:15. So he spoke at 7:15 and this thing just shot up like crazy for no reason. Like there's no actual news being released. He was just speaking, so he's probably saying good things about the economy like he normally does, and then it's gonna have to tumble back down at some point. See if there's anything else over here. All right, so unfortunately it is 7:50, guys. If you guys have any questions, feel free to put your questions in the chat. Again, price is in an area that we don't really want to be trading in, so it's just not looking good right now. This whole week has been kind of trash. If you guys remember, I kind of discussed yesterday, this is pre-NFP week. So next week is NFP. Typically pre-NFP week it has a couple different scenarios. It'll either be really slow and choppy, and the next week's going to be very smooth and directional, or it typically will pick up midway through the week. So, me being on the safe side, I'm probably just going to conserve my capital as much as possible. And then once we get to the NFP week, that's probably where I'm going to let loose and let my trades run. But right now, there just isn't anything for us to take right now. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to put your questions in the chat. Unfortunately, it's been a dreaded week so far. Yesterday I took one trade, so I'm in profit for the week on my trades. For the live trades, we haven't taken any trades for Monday, Tuesday, and then today's Wednesday. It doesn't look like we're going to take one today. So I'm personally in profit myself, but I'm not going to, it's not going to count towards the results, right? Because it's not a trade that we took on the live. So yesterday I took a trade here. It came 30 minutes after the live. I was just so impatient waiting for a trade here. And then it finally came and that's where I took it. But yeah, I have profits for the week, but I'm not going to count them. So none of these are going to count towards the results. We don't have any trades this week so far, any official live trades. It's just going to be about patience, guys. Patience and discipline for those trades to actually come, and not forcing anything here. So if you guys want to keep trading after the live session, I mean, you guys can, but I probably would just sit it out. I mean, unless you see something really good. The only reason I took that trade yesterday was because it was so good and they were coming in bunches. So you can see right here that there was one trade that was right before it. This one hit TP. Actually, this is the one I took. But I saw these other trades over here continue to hit and move along. But this is the one I took. It was a solid red candle right here, wig rejection on top. It was a moderate red candle. It was in the direction of the trend. It was moving pretty heavily in our long-term direction as well. So that's why I took that trade there. I actually double dip into it because I think I hit it twice on accident. So yeah, the trades happen like between a couple of seconds away from each other. Or I might have taken a different one before that. But yeah, so right now, officially no trades for the week. You know, this might be like last week where we might have a slow week up until Friday, and then Friday 3 back-to-back wins. You just got to take what the market's giving you. Today, the market's not really giving us much. Here's the clean chart over here. Let me just show you real quick. So the range broke out of this area. So it's no longer the important range. But here's the reason why I think price is going to drop. We have a ton of liquidity sitting down here, right? Price has not came down here in I don't know how long. So you guys can see here that there's a lot of liquidity on the bottom. I think price is getting propped up. This is just going to be a fake out right here. Just, I mean, basically not a fake out, but manipulated push to the upside. And then eventually when price does come down, it's going to hit liquidity here, drop down further, hit liquidity there, and etc. Right? As it continues to drop lower. Liquidity, lower, liquidity, and down here. So I'm not going to wait around for this because that's just not the way I trade. I don't like to wait for stuff. I like to wait. I like to just take what the market gives me for the day, right? My cutoff is typically around like 8:30 if I do stay on a little longer. But I think for today, I'm just going to wrap it up and not FOMO into any trades because I feel like if I stay on for too long, I'm going to start to see things that aren't actually there. And I'm going to take a trade that isn't actually meeting the criteria. Barack said, Sean, the session ain't over till 8. Yeah, it's 7:55 right now, so it's 5 minutes till 8. But it wouldn't matter because there's no trades that we're going to take from that time, Barack. The zones are down here. So price is going to come down here in the next 5 minutes, right? So yeah, there's not really much for us to take here because price looks like it's just going to go sideways from now until 8. This is the 8 cutoff right here. And usually the market starts to move kind of weird around there. But the thing with lately is that the thing that's been happening lately is that after 8, the market corrects. So this is the same thing that happened yesterday. Price kind of pushed up for like whatever reason. And then after 8, price started coming down. It's kind of similar to what happened the day before. So let me just show you the market from yesterday. Market was right here at 6:30 up until 8. So you can see like right here, it's doing the same exact thing. Price propped up for no reason. Price just went up. Once it hit 8, price went sideways for a bit. But eventually it went right back down to where it's supposed to go. Right? That's the same thing that's happening right now. Price is getting propped up right here. It's going sideways for a bit. As we get closer to 8:30, price starts to drop right back down. So it's the same exact thing that happened yesterday right here. But this is where greed comes into play. Like if you guys are waiting for this to happen and then it doesn't happen, you're going to force a trade, right? That's kind of why I don't like to stay on after 8 because the market starts to move typically it moves weird after 8 because market is directional. So generally what will happen here is like from 6 to 8, market will like go directional, right? It'll do something like this, go down, retrace, continue. Then from like 8, it like goes sideways and then it corrects. The problem with this here is that there's no direction. So you can't really predict where the correction is going to happen. Like if price was going up, price opened and it came up, came down slightly and pushed up, then 8 o'clock price went sideways and then it ended up going down, then yeah, that would make sense, right? It's because that's what we call the mid-market reversal. We don't have that here because there's no direction. Like yesterday over here, price was literally just going back and forth sideways. Same with today. So market opened right here. It was a bit bullish, but realistically, it was just going sideways. So this was a sideways movement. And then all of a sudden, price pushed up right here. But you can see now as it's getting closer to 8, price is coming back down. So I just wouldn't risk it, honestly. It's not worth the risk. I mean, if you guys could get lucky with like 1 or 2 trades, that's fine. But if you don't get lucky and you lose the trade, then you're going to be in the hole for the rest of the week. So you definitely don't want to be in the negative, forcing trades that aren't necessarily there. Barack said, cool, this market might break according to your analysis around 8 onwards, just after the sessions. It doesn't always happen that way, Barack. That's why I'm not telling you guys that it's going to happen, because I don't want you guys to take that analysis and then automatically taking a sell here, praying that price will come down, but then price comes up and then your account gets blown, right? Because you're banking so much on this to drop. You're just gambling at that point. You might as well go to a casino if you're trying to gamble on like price dropping this way. Because if you're trading like that, this isn't a 50% chance of it happening, right? You can still get faked out. So what might happen here is if you're taking a sell at this point, price can still spike up, stop you out, and then come right back down. It's not 50-50 unless you have a really wide stop loss. If you have maybe 1,000 pip stop loss, then maybe you can survive it. But it's not a gamble that I'd recommend anybody take. So like, for example, if you're taking a short right here, even 1,000 pips is not enough, because if your stop loss is 500 pips, you're still within this range right here. If price ranges up, it's going to stop you out. Even if your stop loss is 1,000 pips, if price ranges up, it'll still stop you out before it comes down. So, I mean, just don't make any dumb decisions, guys. I mean, if you know what you're doing, you know what you're doing. If you don't, then don't force anything here. My advice is to just sit out the market. Today's going to be one of the days that I'm not going to be waiting for it to drop. Yesterday, I was just really impatient. I really wanted to take a trade, and then I waited for it and it came. But for today, I feel like today's a little more riskier because it's actually moving. It's been moving a lot compared to yesterday's sideways movement. Yeah, Kenny said, I learned my lesson, blown a couple accounts. Yeah, no, exactly. Whenever you guys trade, always make sure that you guys have your risk set in place. Like whenever you take a trade, only risk about 1 to 2%. Don't risk anything more than 3. 3 is like as far as it'll go. But typically for each trade, you want to risk about 1 to 2%, 3% max, so that you can still take like 2 trades if you end up getting stopped out too early. The main problem with a lot of people is they'll enter a trade with no stop loss, praying that price will come down. And I always see people make the same excuse. Like what happens is people will think that price is going to drop from this point, and they enter a trade with no stop loss, right? So they enter a short with no stop loss, and they don't realize that this is like their daily loss limit, right? Like up here, because they took such a big lot size. This is like their daily loss limit. But then this is what happens. They let price go past it because they have no stop loss. Price goes actually up here. They trigger their daily stop loss limit, and then they make this huge profit right here, right? And then you'll see in the group chat, they're complaining like, oh, FTMO screwed me over, MFF screwed me over. They said I reached my daily loss limit, but I closed out in profit. Realistically, you didn't close out in profit because you let it hit your daily loss before it came down. So I always hear the same complaints every time. You guys have to understand and always use a stop loss if you're trading with like FTMO or MFF, because your daily loss limit is probably higher at risk than your overall loss limit, because you can lose on a 200K account, you can lose 20,000 and you're still good, or you'll basically in the that'll be your daily limit. For your daily loss though, you can only lose 10,000. So just something to keep in mind if you guys have issues with that. I know a lot of you guys do, because you just don't follow the rules and you don't understand how they work. So All right, here's price squeezing down here again. It's not really doing too much, it's just squeezing. So you guys already know what that means. Price is getting ready for a possible breakout. So we've got a zone. It's in the zone right here. All right, well, it's after 8, guys, so I don't see any other questions here. Unless you guys have any other questions, feel free to put them in the chat. Otherwise, as I mentioned, I don't think this is a good day to sit in the market. I know a lot of you guys are trying to expect the same thing to happen yesterday to happen today, but it doesn't always play out that way, especially when the market hasn't established that a reversal is going to happen. We had news right here at 8 o'clock, I believe. What was it, 8 o'clock news? 8 o'clock news was Bowman speaking. So we have another Fed member, Bowman, speaking right now. I'll probably be speaking for the next 30 minutes to an hour. So, all right, guys, I think that's it for today. If you guys have any questions, feel free to email me or message me on Telegram. Unfortunately, there's no entries for us to take today. There hasn't been any entries from Monday up until today. I did take one trade on my own yesterday, but it's not going to count as results. It's just going to be my own personal trade. And hopefully it'll pick back up tomorrow. So I was hoping it'd pick up today, but it didn't necessarily do that. So hopefully by tomorrow, Friday, it'll pick back up and then we can get right back on track. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out. Otherwise, we will be back here tomorrow, same time, same place, as we continue on with this week's market movement. So I'll catch you guys then.